I set out to prove that gi jiu-jitsu is more practical for self-defense compared to no gi jiu-jitsu. To test this, I decided to roll in street clothes, just like you'd actually be wearing if something happened outside of the gym. I set up matches with a variety of people, each in a completely different outfit. Outfits you might actually run into in real life: hoodies, t-shirts, dress clothes, a security uniform, and even a bathrobe. The real question: do gi-trained skills give you an edge in regular clothes, or do they fall apart without a kimono, making no gi the better option? Let's find out, but first. For years, what I thought was my biggest problem in jiu-jitsu was my gas tank. I pushed the pace, but only to a certain point. Then it would feel like my body just couldn't keep going. And honestly, even today, I feel like my cardio could be better than it is. But here's the truth: my problem wasn't always my cardio. It was that I wasn't always taking care of my nutrition, more specifically electrolytes. When you train, you're not just sweating out water. You're losing sodium, potassium, and magnesium, the key minerals that keep your body moving. If you don't replace them, your conditioning will feel way worse than it actually is. That's why I started drinking Element, a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix that helps replace what is lost. No sweeteners, no junk. Just the minerals that your body needs in the right ratios. Since adding Element into my routine, I've been recovering faster between sessions, and those annoying post-training cramps are gone. And nothing beats how refreshing it feels after a tough session. Now you can grab a free sample pack with any order using my link, so you can try their most popular flavors. Get yours at drinklmnt.com/JordanTeaches. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/JordanTeaches. The first thing I noticed about rolling with someone in a t-shirt is that it's actually way easier to get a hold of the t-shirt and to choke using it compared to grabbing a gi. You can almost just grab wherever, and the t-shirt will stretch and move to where you need it. And we didn't have any t-shirts rip, which surprised me, although my Subway shirt was hidden by my jacket for the majority of the rounds. But John here rolled every round with this t-shirt and it only stretched, no rips. And it isn't some super thick shirt, it's just a regular shirt, which proved to me that not only does the gi mimic a t-shirt well, but an actual t-shirt is easier to attack with compared to a gi. Even this dress shirt was relatively easy to choke with. Here I hit a canto choke, which looks like this in the gi. The non-stretchy material wasn't as easy to choke with compared to a regular t-shirt, so I tried to unbutton it, but no luck. Overall, I'd say that the dress shirt was about equal to a gi, and a regular t-shirt was surprisingly superior. Of course, non-material dependent submissions presented themselves, and they were also easier because of the friction that the clothing provides. No gi is very slippery, which makes it easier to slide out of submissions using the sweat. And regular clothes compared to a rash guard and shorts made it less slippery, which is way more realistic in a fight, because usually both guys won't be super slippery. Hoodies, to no one's surprise, mimic the gi pretty well. They don't easily rip, and the hood offers a ton of extra fabric to choke people with. Of course, you can wrap it around necks and go for bow and arrow type chokes, and you can even use it to lift over your opponent's head to use to suffocate and blind them. I found this particularly effective. I got the submission from suffocation. People often complain about the gi being hot, but man, street clothes take this to a whole different level. That was one comment that everyone had, how hot it was rolling in these regular clothes. The hood acts as such a tool against you. I don't recommend fighting in a hoodie, or fighting at all for that matter, but if you're going to fight, especially against someone who knows jiu-jitsu, definitely don't wear a hoodie or take it off if you do have one, because it's like a supercharged gi. A gi with a huge handle on top of it for easy chokes, easy suffocation, and a great way to take someone's vision away. This is a pocket square. Surprisingly, this pocket square proved to be very effective. I got it from Jeff, who was using it as part of his outfit. He lent it to me and I tried using it for different chokes, but it proved to be more difficult than I thought it would be. People would grab it and throw it away, or even use their teeth against it. What it did prove to be effective for was using it as makeshift handcuffs. I used it to handcuff on 2 separate occasions, one which led to this sweep, and one which led to a wrist lock. At times the pocket square might have distracted me and hindered me as a result, but it definitely proved that accessories as simple as a pocket square can be an effective and useful tool. Right off the bat, my friend Jeff's pants ripped right at the butt, and this was the very first exchange of the very first roll of the night. But the pants getting ripped don't really affect the functionality of the pants as a tool to control him with. And the embarrassment factor in a real fight is pretty low, because in a real fight you're more concerned about the fight itself rather than if your underwear are showing. And in many cases it should already be embarrassing enough that you're fighting in public. I tried for a cross-collar choke, but I couldn't quite get it deep enough. But this loop choke presented itself and proved highly effective even on a suit jacket. The suit jacket became a hindrance against me as well, which led to me getting briefly stuck in this triangle. This proved to be the case many times throughout the night, where my partners would control me using my jacket, using it just like a gi. I did end up hitting a couple cross-collar chokes and a couple heel hooks, and the heel hooks were even more powerful with clothes on due to friction, which makes it much more difficult to escape, compared to leg locks and no-gi where sweat can be used as such an advantage to escape. The tie was a real detriment to Jeff. It was super easy to control his posture with it. It was like a super powered lapel grip. It's so long and easy to grab, and it can also be used to choke. Here I wrapped it around Jeff's neck and was surprised how quickly I got the tap. The tie became such a pain in the butt that he eventually tries to hide it by tucking it into his pocket. Look how I entered this calf slicer. I used the material of the jacket to control his upper body. Rolling in street clothes didn't invalidate gi jiu-jitsu, it reinforced it. Clothing adds handles and friction that mimic the gi pretty well, and vice versa. That's the whole purpose of wearing a gi in training, to mimic clothes. If you only train no-gi, feel free, but to think and claim that no-gi is more realistic, I think is straight up wrong. I'm now convinced that training in the gi is much more practical for self-defense, and not just for wintertime, as the t-shirt proved to be a very useful tool, and was similar enough to a gi that I had no problems adjusting to it, and no problem using gi-specific techniques using the shirt. Most people don't fight naked, and if you are fighting naked, well, that's a little bit weird. Most importantly, avoid fights, but if you can't, having gi-informed instincts will give you more options and better outcomes than no gi only will. What's up guys, I have a beginner course that I'm working on currently. I'm editing it and it's perfect for anyone looking to sharpen their skills, learn more jiu-jitsu, and it's already 10 hours long and I'm not even done editing it, so it's going to be a powerhouse, a banger when it's done. So if you want to check it out, you want to be the first to be notified, just check out the link below.